Alright, I clicked the button.
Cold open, baby.
Oh, first Vito laugh spike already happened.
Hello and welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Beefy Bois Bud Club. I am happy to introduce you to my lovely girlfriend Hailey of 4 years today, December 8th, 2018 is our 4 years. She's a special guest on the show tonight.
Wow.
And I am also joined here by Vito and by Joe.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to kick things off. We're going to start it off in the, let's kick it off into some sports. I know we got some baseball to talk, and, you know, before we get started, we always do ask our guests our big questions. So,
Before we go there, Vito, you want to tell us what you're pouring for us over there?
and he's pouring it on the stool, too, of course.
Of course. Vito party foul, man, every time. Jeez.
Oh my God.
Looks like he peed your pants or something.
You're just making it worse, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I can't pour out of a tall can. So down a couple of blocks from my house is the Burke Gilman Brewery, local brewery for Seattle, Washington. I brought today canned fresh at their location.
And this is, they're called Burke Gilman.
Burke Gilman Brewery.
Oh, there you go. So I'm assuming they're on the...
Yeah, they're on the trail.
Wait, are they the place that had, like, the wooden deck?
Yeah.
They have, like, a wooden deck outside?
Not
like a
wooden
seating
deck,
area?
but like wooden
like a wooden patio.
furniture.
Patio and shit. Like, the outside the patio is, like, 2 levels, got, like,
No.
wood benches
No,
and shit.
no.
I mean, there are several breweries on the Burke Gilman.
That's true.
There's
but
one
I was
in
thinking about
Fremont,
the wrong
you gotta
one.
ride right past
No,
the
it's,
front door.
Okay, because I know that we used to
it's
steal
right next to the
electricity.
it's
from
right
one of
next to it's in between the El Camion truck and the like burger joint on the other side.
Oh, okay. I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll have to check them out sometime.
Anywho, I brought a Boombastic, is what they call it. It's their brew, and it's a stout, and it's 8.7.
Ooh, an imperial stout.
Stout to give you gout.
All
right,
see if
so-
I can actually pour
Yeah,
this
so,
correctly.
If you can
this
pour
time,
it without getting the
for you
Ottoman
guys here.
drunk,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
We're hoping to
So-
make this a recurring thing where we shout out some local brews and try them out on the show.
Yeah, if you're local and you make beer,
You want one too?
Oh god, no. I don't
I'll
like
take one, Vito. I want to try it. If it's a stout, I
Diet
definitely
Coke for
want part.
life.
You are drinking a Diet Coke over there.
I haven't opened it yet, but yes.
Ah.
I will.
And oh yeah, let's check this stout out because I know a lot of my buddies, especially, and then a lot of my buddies love stouts. My dad really likes a good stout. He doesn't drink it all the time, but if he were to have one, he's sober now. But if he were to have one, I would try to see if we could recommend this one right here.
So, Christian, if you like it, are you going to give it a stout out?
Stout out.
It smells very potent.
You gonna give it a stout out?
Ooh, it smells potent.
It is. It really is. You guys both just said the
but
same
you
thing.
smell it over here. Shoot.
Wow.
I just
Dang.
think it's like super smooth.
You know what? This is a really good. It's a really good stout too.
That's what I was thinking because like
Fantastic.
most stouts, I don't really like them that much because I feel like they're too bitter. Whereas this one's like a nice smooth. I could swallow this.
It's good. I'm not a stout guy.
It's
I think
an
it would
easy
be.
drinker
I think
for
it would
me.
be better if it was nitro instead of carbonated, just because it's a little too fizzy. But
I'm not too big on the stouts, but I do really enjoy like a good, like if it's like a really good
better,
stout
like, it's
that
better,
just
it's
kind
better
of
served.
rides with how I'm feeling. It's
Yeah.
like it's a good thing to have.
yeah,
And you know, it's like one time I went to Hellbent right down the street to meet up with some friends and hang out, and the guy recommended me their coconut stout. They had a coconut stout. I don't know if you guys.
gross.
Yeah, you guys don't like coconut, but
I notoriously hate coconut.
I know. And so coconut stout, he said it was super popular. He said they sell out of it all the time. And so I was able to try it, and oh boy. I had about 2 pints of it, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Definitely if it's there and at Hellbent, you guys have to try it cuz
I don't like coconut.
those of you who like coconut. I'm not saying you guys in particular, but
I'm more of an
fucking
IPA guy, and I'm pretty fond of sours, so I'll
Ugh.
have to bring
They,
you guys a nice sour.
Ugh.
They actually have a lot
IPAs.
of good IPAs, but I knew that 2 out of the 3 of us would have liked the stout better, so that's why I brought it.
Yeah, IPAs are not my thing.
Yeah, me
Tastes
either.
icky.
Especially
bitter.
the really like floral, like
Botanical
perfume
ones, yeah.
that are like
Perfume.
drinking perfume, and I just wants me to make it.
I love when my drinks taste like flowers and trees. Anyways, let's get back on topic.
Okay, so moving on, we're going to jump into our sports here, and
Sports.
so Haley, go ahead and tell us a little bit about.
You could have just said babe instead of my name.
Yeah, I realize that,
That sounds
but
weird.
oh well. I'll get used to calling all of our guests babe, and then it's gonna sound weird. Go ahead and tell us.
Like in grade
sounds
school when you
so
call the
weird.
teacher mom.
My
Like,
mom was
oh,
my
my
substitute
first
teacher
name.
once in 3rd grade.
That's gotta really fucked with you.
It was a disaster.
All right, so go ahead and tell us about your favorite sports memory. I know you posted it on Facebook one time.
So I was at the NFC Championship game against Green Bay in Seattle, which was freaking awesome.
Scream
But
Bay?
so what?
Scream Bay?
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
Ah.
Green Bay. And a Packers.
I thought you were going to a metal show.
I was gonna say
Yes,
Scream
good.
Bane
I
would be a
love metal
pretty
so
ballin'.
much.
Yeah, that'd be a good metal
Oh
show.
my god! But so I used to work for guest services, so like get the assist guests and all that crap. So like the 12s, you know the huge. But I got deployed like later in the game to go in the oh god, what's that section, like 130 whatever. But I was quite literally right there where the players were, and I was like maybe 5 or 10 feet like away from them, and so it was like basically overtime, so like nobody really like gave a crap about like nobody was fighting or anything, so everybody was like just watching the game. And I remember I was talking to there's this guy that like goes to every single entire game. He's from I think Denver, and he like flies in, and I remember
Damn.
yeah, I know, God, but I remember I saw him, he had some like green crap on his face. I remember he like smeared some, so I had like green face paint on the side of my face. But like I remember I was talking to him like the whole entire game. But like, God, we were all just freaking watching the game, and then just like overtime, God, I don't know what the hell the plays were, but like like obviously the most important one, Russell Wilson and Jermaine Kearse. I just remember looking up and seeing Russell Wilson. He just throws it. And just like everybody was just holding their breath, and it was like so silent. You could like hear a needle drop, and you're like, oh my god, like what the hell is going on? Like, oh my god, like who were like? I didn't even look down to see where the hell he threw it. And then once I saw where the ball went down, Kearse got it, and everybody's just like jumping up. They're like, oh my god, we're going to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And so I remember I think I was like hugging a fan or something like that. But oh my god. I was
Not
just
to
like,
mention the pass interference on Jermaine Kearse by the Green Bay defender.
You're so salty about that, man.
Okay, it should have been called because if Jermaine
won the
Kearse didn't
game.
catch that,
It should have been called.
if he didn't catch that, they would not have called it.
They won the game.
I know, but you know what? Fuck it.
Roethlisberger was over the goal line too.
Hey,
That's not a catch. This is a catch.
and for the record, Jermaine Kearse fucking sucks.
yeah.
Is he still on the
Yeah.
team?
No,
He's
was
in JETS.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, he went from doing nothing on the Seahawks except catching one big pass a year for the team to going to New York to catching 0 big catches for that team.
Well, their team is
But then
terrible.
again, you got young Sam Darnold coming in. He's doing his thing, whatever. And then you got, what's the receiver for the Jets who looks like a homeless man?
Robbie Anderson?
Yes, thank you. So he's balling out this year. But, yeah, it's funny. That NFC Championship was so amazing. And, it felt like the Seahawks were so destined to go and win the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Rip.
And then we had to watch him throw a goal line interception, which was a real hoot. Went upstairs into my bedroom and cried for about an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
that was fun.
An emotional man.
I was very upset. I wasn't angry. I was just sad. Sports.
man.
You gotta love it.
sad.
I was in Dutch Harbor, Alaska for that Super Bowl, and Alaskan fishermen are like all Seahawks fans. And when they were up after that ridiculous catch, who was that on the sideline who like kicked the ball to
It was
himself?
Jermaine Kearse.
Was it Kearse again?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, we're definitely gonna score this and win," and then the interception and the whole bar just.
You see, a lot of people say, oh, give it to Marshawn Lynch. I understand that. Marshawn Lynch, big guy in the red zone. That season, terrible numbers in the red zone. Look it up. They weren't great. So the pass made sense on second down.
He's never been great in goal-to-go situations like that. It's just not his style.
You would think that power backs would have like a bigger...
You'd think that.
You would think that. You would think that power backs would have a bigger advantage in a situation like that. But you got to give it to like the elusive backs who can find that small little opening.
Yeah, exactly.
And, because remember when the Seahawks goal line standed LeGarrette Blount?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I think it was 2 runs with LeGarrette Blount, and then they tried to do some shitty quarterback sneak with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And they stuffed that, and then they did the post to Gronkowski, and that was a disaster as well. But, anywho, that NFC Championship was a real hoot. It's awesome that you were there and got to experience it. And another fun fact, she's actually in a picture of that game with Michael Bennett riding around on the police bike.
Oh, wait, did I tell you about the bike?
Didn't they auction it?
No, well, I didn't know this. So, like, my mom said that the bike belonged to the security officer that's at, I think, Beamer, I believe, which I thought was kind of cool. But he was, like, working the game, and Michael Bennett took his bike.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
He's
He's got stories to tell every Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what we got going on is if you live in Seattle and you unfortunately watch baseball and you unfortunately follow the Mariners, I am not too big of a fan of what they are doing to the team as far as the closest team that they've gotten to the playoffs in this long drought of ours is now officially ended.
Burn it down.
They have gotten rid of every single good player that they had. Paxton's gone. Segura's gone. Big Maple's gone. Fucking.
Paxton.
What's that?
You said Paxton and then Big Maple. That's
Did I say?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to say Big Maple
Fake
twice.
fan.
Yeah.
Derp. Anyway.
Edwin Diaz, too.
And
Robbie
yes,
Cano.
Edwin
And
Diaz.
Robinson Cano.
That one struck a soft spot on me. I love me some Robinson Cano. I even have his fucking shirt. And now that he's with the Mets,
He's
isn't
with
he?
the Mets, that's right.
Yeah, so now Joe gets to
Mets
enjoy
fan
him.
till they die. Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about this. That was a big trade for us, but the Mets have a new GM. His name's Brodie Van Wagenen. This is his first big move. This was a contentious hire because right
What's
before
contentious mean?
it was disliked by certain
Contentious.
Can you use
people.
it in a sentence?
Brodie Van Wagenen was a contentious hire by the Mets. Anyways, he
Contentious.
yeah, sorry, I know I pronounced it weird. Anyways, I
thought
probably
it was
could.
like a term instead of a word.
He was an agent. He was a baseball agent, like up until the minute he got hired by the Mets. He was Robinson Cano's agent, in fact. He was also Jacob deGrom's agent. Now he's the Mets manager. And this is like
boy.
a clear conflict of interest because when you come from, I don't know if, well, I know you two are in a labor union. I don't know if any of you follow labor union issues, but generally your union leaders and those representing labor should not go on to management positions because like this guy definitely has inside information about like Robinson Cano. Like what if he has like this long-term knee injury that's bothering him that he told his agent about, who's now his general manager, and he's not like basically the thought is that this guy's going to have inside information about these people he worked with and that it would be untoward for him to use it in negotiations, but there's no blowback for this. And he just promises that he'll be an upstanding citizen and not use this for his team's
I
personal
see what
gain.
You're saying. I see what you're trying to say. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because when it comes time for Robinson Cano to renew his contract with the Mets, he could be like, oh, well, guess what? You know, remember when you told me when you broke your thumb and blah, blah, blah.
Or, you know, he's got a baby mama in, like, Poughkeepsie, so he's not leaving New York, you know? Like, that kind of stuff, you know? Like, stuff that you would share with a friend, but not your employer, and he's now the employer, you know?
Next thing you know,
And
next thing you know, it's on ESPN and all that shit.
the other thing is, like, we're supposed to trust
ESPN?
the Mets organization to, like, do the right thing here, except the Mets are owned by the Wilpons, who famously bought the team off the money they made off the Bernie Madoff pyramid scheme, in which they were in so deep, the SEC took millions of dollars from him. There are like 5 people who had to pay back money they earned from that Bernie Madoff scandal, and the Mets owners are one of those 5 people, and they're totally broke now. So I don't trust those people to make the right decision and just do the upstanding thing and not use this
hey,
inside
Joe,
information they got for an
What do you mean
advantage.
what do you mean by those people?
What? Not get out of here. I mean, multimillionaires who ripped off everyday people in Ponzi schemes. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Let
a
me tell you how
prickly
to double your
situation.
wage, Vito, without working a full week's work.
What if I told you I could take your money and double it, and you wouldn't have to do anything?
All you would have to do is tell 7 of your friends and pay me $1,500, and then you can double it in like 2 months or something.
But then, see, those people tell some of your friends, and they're your downstream, and you're just making money hand over fist, man. Did any of you either get caught up in a pyramid scheme like that?
Somebody tried to get
I
me in
actually
one of
did,
them. Someone tried
almost.
to.
I was.
I remember that you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it was
Vito.
a job I was gonna get.
Was it
with
Cutco?
one.
Were you a Cutco
It
knife
was like
salesman?
an insurance,
Oh, like Amway?
health insurance.
I was a Cutco knife salesman for a while. That's another pyramid scheme. It is.
I remember. I remember one time. I had no like. I was young. I was around 19 years old, and I was working at McDonald's at the time. Pretty hilarious. And somebody hit me up. Typical pyramid scheme style. But this is before I even knew like really how big they were. And so he hits me up and he's like, "Hey man, I got somebody that I work at this place and blah blah blah. And my manager wants to meet with you and speak with you. Can you meet him at Northgate?" And so I went to Northgate, met up with him, and this dude was like, "Let me tell you about this skin product."
Oh, God.
And I was like, "Oh." And he was like, "All you got to do is buy this package for about,
Yeah, of course.
for about $250, and then you sell this package. When you get all of your stuff, you could sell the package for double the profit." I'm like, "I will call you back." Went home. I got like 8 phone calls from this guy, and then finally they stopped. And it was pretty funny because each phone call he would leave me a voicemail, and on the last voicemail it was like, "You are losing your opportunity to double your wage on your own scale, on your own schedule." And he said, "This is an opportunity to get you out from flipping burgers for your entire life." And we listened to it like 3 or 4 times, and it was pretty hilarious.
Jeez.
But yeah, I got caught up. I think everybody gets pyramid schemed once in their life a little bit. And
I actually almost followed through with it just because I was desperate.
That's how they get you, man. Don't fall for that shit.
Yeah, I actually probably would have fallen for it if it wasn't for my housemate who was like, "Dude, you need to like,
Yeah, outside
Look
perspective.
them
there you
up."
go. Yeah.
yeah,"
That's
because
cool.
they didn't actually like want you to spend any money. Like you just had to get some certifications for insurance.
Oh, which I'm sure cost a couple $100.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have to spend money like to the.
You didn't
place.
have to buy like a set of
Packages.
knives
Yep.
or
Yeah.
Blueberry
you
juice or
weren't like
whatever.
giving them money for any of it, so like it didn't seem to me like a pyramid scheme off the bat. It just seemed like you got to take some classes to certify yourself.
it's nonsense.
But yeah,
But
Good old-
to
good
get
old
back to
pyramid
baseball, besides my concerns about the ethics of the whole thing, I really like this trade for the Mets. I think our team is underrated. We went to the playoffs 3 years ago, should have gone 2 years ago, and the NL East is wide open. We have probably the best pitching staff in baseball. We had a terrible bullpen. Now we have Edwin Diaz, who's 23 years old, probably the best closer in baseball, and we had no power hitters. Now we have Robbie Cano in the middle infield, who's might be 30 years old, but he's still a productive hitter. And the Mariners are paying most of his salary going forward. And we really didn't give up that much. We gave up a couple of first-round picks, but, I mean, Keith Law and all those guys have them barely in the top 100 prospects in baseball, so good for us. Anyways.
Fucking Mariners.
Suck.
God damn it. It made me so upset. I know a lot of people are upset about it. And then there's going to be the people, that, oh, well, they're rebuilding and they're getting young to, I don't even want to fucking hear it. They've been rebuilding for too goddamn long. Our year is next year, Mariners fans. You heard it here first. And another exciting news to kind of dump off the Mariners to the, to the side of the street.
to the dump.
To the dump. NHL is coming to Seattle. I can't fucking wait. I'm super excited.
Isn't it like 5 years from now or something?
It's-
2021.
yeah, 2021. Yep, that'll be our inaugural season.
Do we have a team name yet?
Not yet. I'm pretty sure they're gonna stick to the Metropolitans.
Lame.
I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't.
That's hilarious.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Metropolitan Market.
You should, yeah, exactly. They should be. this is like a once in a lifetime thing, man. And they're always so lame. Golden Knights, lame. What about like the Dothraki? You know, something cool.
The Golden Knights are.
That's a lame name.
Yeah, but they got a cool uniform. I like
Yes,
their
but it's a
uniforms,
lame
badass.
name.
And I'm just excited to beat up Canucks fans, beat up LA fans, and get beat up by Canucks fans and LA fans. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hockey is about the love of the game and pounding the glass and getting into fights in the stands and getting kicked out. Yeah, Thunderbirds games, real hoot. But security there, you guys got to tone it down a little bit because it's fucking hockey. All right. And with that being said, a new expansion is coming to Seattle. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. This is some exciting shit. And this is in 2020, so this is even sooner than NHL.
I don't think Vito has any idea what we're talking about.
The XFL is coming to Seattle.
Do you
And Vito, for your knowledge,
porn.
It's not pornographic.
for your knowledge, the XFL is a football league that takes place. It takes place like after
In a
the
porn studio.
after the NFL season is over, so that there's still football in the year. It's kind of like a springtime
extra-
You're
summer.
burying
it's
the
the,
lead on
uh,
this one, man.
It's the extra football league.
It's run by the WWE, man.
It's run by the
It's run by the
Vince
WWE.
McMahon. Vince McMahon is the man, and he's bringing the XFL to Seattle. We are
I can't
one of the
believe he's launching it again.
we are one of the 8 cities to get a team, and I think LA is another one. Houston's
New
one of
York.
them.
Houston,
New York
Dallas,
is one of
yeah.
them. Yep. It's
So in
gonna
case
be
you folks didn't get enough football during the actual season, you're gonna have an off-season.
Yeah,
football.
but it's the extreme football league
Extreme
with an
football
X.
league.
Oh, I thought it was extra.
so they're gonna
football.
tone it. They're gonna tone
It's
it
not the
down.
extra football league.
It's a tone down of penalties. So, regular football is just littered with penalties these days. Teams use it to their advantage a lot, where if you're third and long, you can just bomb it down the field, and maybe, about 75% of the time you're going to get a pass interference call that'll move you up about 45 yards. People are sick of seeing it, but they still love the NFL like me. But the refereeing really alters games in the NFL these here days. So Vince McMahon was like, fuck that shit. Here's my league that I tried to do before that failed big time, but we're going to do it again.
failed
Bigger,
big
badder, and
time.
stronger. It's going to pop off this time.
No, it's not.
Guaranteed. Seeing
It's
how
so stupid.
seeing how soft the NFL is getting, people want to see, sounds crazy, but people want to see like annihilation.
sports
People
in
want
the
to see
90s.
I know blood sports
players
has
like
its
hitting
appeal,
each
but,
other, not blood splatter, but people
Blood
like
sports.
hitting the shit out of each other.
But the
That's what
problem is
people
that
want to see. You don't
it's-
want to see a fucking penalty when a middle linebacker blows up a slot receiver.
It's a quality of play problem, though. Like, this was their problem the first time, This is the Arena Football League's problem. Like, there's not enough good players to support a second league, and they can't compete with the NFL on contracts, so they're only going to get people who can't make NFL rosters or, like, old has-beens trying to make a comeback, like Terrell Owens or something, man. Like, it's just not going to be good
It'll also be a
football.
cool
That's the
transition for
problem.
college players as well. If they don't want to go to Canada, they can go to the XFL.
Well, assuming they don't get drafted.
Assuming if they go undrafted, which a lot of players do, and it'll be good because then it'll open up the flag football leagues for us scrubs that we don't have to play ex-football or ex-college football players
Are you
anymore.
still salty about that flag football league where you got decimated, man?
We joined that league thinking, let's join this league. It'll be a lot of fun. Our first game we played against like ex-Mizzou players, and we lost. I think it was 89-0. Their
Yeah.
quarterback threw a 65-yard touchdown, and then went to wide receiver and caught a 75-yard touchdown.
Jesus
So we were like, cool, this is a lot of fun. We were very happy to be out here and getting chopped in the throat and pushed back. And
Well, we were talking about
sacked
football,
every fucking
about
play.
our football leagues. I got a bone to pick with you, my friend, because you're commissioner of our fantasy football league, and somehow the Mana team is 8-5 out of the playoffs, whereas Sherlock's love child is 7-6 is in the playoffs.
That's
this
because
is
you're in a- that's
shenanigans.
because you're in a
this
hard
is
division.
nonsense.
That's
Why do
because
we
you're
even
in a hard
have
division.
divisions?
That's because you're in a hard division, my friend. You're in
Uh-huh.
our division. And
Uh-huh.
and don't forget the fact that I dusted you earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So not only did I beat you, I think Claude beat you as well.
Yes, and I
And
lost
so-
to your dad and Blake by a combined 6 points, and that's
And
why
there
I'm
you
out
go,
of the goddamn
pal.
playoffs.
That's why you're out
Annoying.
of the playoffs. Enjoy the
Shenanigans.
consolation bracket. It's a real hoot.
I'm the only team without a losing record in the consolation bracket.
you and Hailey can fight for losers bracket rights.
I made a trophy, by the way. I'll bring it over sometimes.
Oh,
Anyways,
fuck yeah.
do you have any other sports talk?
Yeah. You, babe, you were telling me about something about baseball. Okay, go ahead.
So I would like to give a shout out to my wonderful boyfriend that I just learned like 2 things ago that he is officially announced my team sucks, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yes.
Even though you were like, "Oh no, it doesn't." And
Well, I mean, seeing your record is like
Yeah.
3-7, I was like, God damn, that team sucks. And not only you, but my dad sucked too. And
But he's in
so
the
does
playoffs.
Jack.
yeah,
Well, you
playoffs.
you
No, you were like beating around the bush. You were like, "Oh no, you're fine. You have Cook, you have Fournette.
you have
I
a
was
good
like,
team. It's just when
okay.
you don't start half of them, you fucking lose
Well, it
6
doesn't help
games
when
in
you
a
have
row.
like 3 players on a freaking bye week, and then you look and there's like nobody.
That's why you got to play the waiver
There's like
wire.
nobody.
Rodrigo is
Like,
the
I'm not gonna
hottest
frickin-
waiver wire player, and he still loses every single
God.
game.
That's me, bud. I'm the hottest one.
I don't think anybody is more active than Rodrigo. Quick shout out to him. I don't think anybody's more active
Claude's
in fantasy.
been on top of it this
Hang
year.
on. More active in fantasy football, but the worst player of fantasy football I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love the guy, and he's a good spirit about how shitty his team is. But every year, the guy is so active in fantasy, and he'll still get beat out by the people who have players in their roster that have bye weeks and shit. And really interesting this season with fantasy football is a lot of players who you didn't expect to strive are really striving. But I remember I was here doing the draft with the Arizona Auto Drafts, and that's Diego, if anybody knows who that cat is. And, we were in here doing the draft, and he was laughing at me because I picked receivers first. But not to mention my receivers are Antonio Brown and Michael Thomas, who are both giving me 50 points, together, and that's just 2 players. So anyway, moving on, fantasy football, real hoot. Joe sucks, Haley sucks.
Hey, I've
Thank
got a
you.
real quick question though.
Thank you.
What are the rules to fantasy football?
What do you mean? What are the rules?
Like, how does it exist?
You quantify each player's performance by a set of metrics. So, like,
Yeah.
a quarterback, for example, scores 1 point for every 25 passing yards, 6 points for a passing touchdown, -2 for an interception. Then you set your team. You have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a couple other guys. And then each position has a quantifiable set of stats that's converted to a point system. This is super nerdy, I know. Then you compare points between whoever you're playing that week.
Cool. I think I get it. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's super easy to get when you see it. It's harder
Right.
to explain it rather than
Totally,
just show
totally.
you. But
As
yeah,
most
each
things
player each week is projected a certain amount of points. So it's like I was just talking about Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown. They're usually projected around like 8 points, but they'll somehow rally up like 20 to 25 points a game each, and that's because they catch long passes, they score touchdowns, and they're targeted the most on their team.
And our league has stupid rules about, like, you get bonus points if you catch, like, a 50-plus yard touchdown pass or something.
It's not stupid. It's just
Stupid
because
stuff like that.
when we first set up our fantasy year, people lost interest because the games were like, the games would be like 50 to 60 or just boring scores. So 75 was like the most anybody would score. So then we upped the ante, we upped the points, and then so now each player is scoring like 90, or the best players in the league are scoring like 150, playing against the best team. Remember, week 1 was me versus Claude, and I lost the game scoring 150 points.
I know.
He
It
scored
happens.
168 or something like that. But it's fun. It makes it cool. It makes me pay attention to fantasy football a lot more. Because when I see the deep pass on red zone, it's like, oh, Michael Thomas catching a 40-yard reception in the end zone. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna check my fantasy now, see how many points that was, send some fucking text messages, talking shit, all that good stuff. But yeah, playoff season's here. You'll hear about it a little bit more. You'll hear who the winner is, whether it be me, my dad, Diego, or Claude. We will find out.
On to our next topic, maybe movies.
Well, hang on before we go to
I thought we
movies.
were going to close with movies.
Before we go to movies,
I don't remember.
What?
Or, babe, you reminded me earlier, or while I was setting up all the mics and shit, you were telling me that the MLB put out a new rule, and I think honestly, that this rule is fucking stupid, and it's the reason why baseball sucks.
The Men in Black.
Yes.
What?
MLB, Men in Black.
Oh, MLB.
So go ahead and describe that rule a little bit, because I can't describe it if it would save my skin.
By the way, real quick on the MIB track, have you guys seen that there's apparently a new MIB movie coming out?
Yeah, it's gonna have
Will Smith.
we talked about this during when our Thor Ragnarok talk.
Yeah.
It's gonna have Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in it.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen any trailers or anything.
Comedy
we should
duo
talk about that
Chris
later.
Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson apparently.
So describe the new rule.
Okay, so apparently they're not gonna be able to do a shift anymore on a batter. Why? I have no clue, but yeah.
Do you know like the details of this? Like what? Like I only saw the headline, so
Yeah, that's what I saw. Because I saw on MLB.
I don't understand how you would enforce
Major League
this.
Booty.
You know?
That's what
Yes.
I'm wondering. It's a fucking strategy. It's if
I
you
know.
know she used a good example earlier with this is my fucking city. Whoever the fuck that guy, David Ortiz.
That was David Ortiz
And-
after the
After the
Boston
bombing, yeah. And she said if everybody knows that he hits to a certain spot on the field, they can shift players to that side of the field.
yeah.
So that just sounds like a
It's
strategy.
defensive strategy.
And
yeah.
now they're taking a strategy out of a game that involves strategy.
It's because you have all these baseball blowhards who are like 100 years old and missed the days in like the 60s, you know, when it was okay to be racist and baseball was the old man's game and all that nonsense, man. Baseball is the worst about having old men in control of everything and complaining about modern changes.
Well, I'd say the worst is probably actually Congress, but
Okay, I meant in sports. I meant talking about sports, not like in the world in general, but like, yeah. There was a player, I think this was in like 2001, but this guy was pitching a perfect game. I forget his name. Andrew Galarraga or something. He played for the Tigers. He was pitching a perfect game. It was the top of the ninth, 2 outs. He needed one more out. Ground ball to the second baseman, throws to first base. Replay show that he's clearly out, but they call him safe. The next player gets out. And they appeal this game, of course, right? Because, like, it was clear this guy pitched a perfect game. And from the replay, you could clearly see this guy was out at first base. Major League Baseball denies the appeal. So that guy didn't pitch a perfect game. And the history books say he never did, even though he was clearly robbed by a referee who made a wrong call. Because baseball is stuck in the freaking Stone Age, man. And they're, like, more so than any other sport. And it's obnoxious.
I think that's why baseball is like the... You know, it's one of the more boring sports to watch because it's a long season, right? So yeah, you can watch some games and it's fun, but ultimately, love it or hate it, baseball is a boring sport. It's like it's just kind of like soccer. Love it or hate it, it's a boring fucking sport.
Well, that's not.
if you want to watch,
That's debatable.
oh, how is it
You're
false?
overruled,
I don't even
man.
like sports, and I like soccer.
What's so great about soccer?
They never
You're
stop
watching.
running.
You're watching.
Stressful.
Okay, you're watching
It's
a,
more
like
active.
a bunch of.
It's like an RTS versus a turn-based strategy.
You can
game.
never turn your head away because
Yeah.
action is constantly happening.
Yeah.
And
So-
Action's
soccer's like
constantly
RTS,
happening.
and
And-
football's like a
In a
fucking
sport that
turn-based.
regularly allows ties is just not a good.
Oh yeah,
move.
because you're not
At
a real
least the
fan.
MLB.
Just
Well,
because
okay.
there's no scoring doesn't mean nothing happened. All right.
that means nothing
crap.
happened. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Hate me, love me, fucking
If
kill
you don't-
me. I
You
don't
don't play
care.
to win, you play to get good.
If
Okay?
Ichiro climbs up the wall and robs a home run, no points are scored. That doesn't mean nothing happened.
Yes,
All right.
that's a good point.
Oh my god.
If
Yeah,
somebody
but
flies
fucking
into space
baseball,
but doesn't make any
okay,
points.
baseball being baseball, they don't end in ties. Look at the World
I know.
Series game. They didn't fucking sit there and pansy out and be like, oh, these guys are tired. They need to call it a night. It's a draw. No, they fucking played for like 7 hours and they didn't stop until somebody finally scored. That's what I like. And I think the
NFL is the only-
the NFL involving ties ridiculous because you know how many ways that they could end the game without having a fucking tie? Just do field goals. Field goals. Start them off at extra points and move them back each
Like
field
a field
goal.
goal competition.
Why the fuck not? It's
That
better
would be
than a
so
tie.
weird.
Better than a tie. Call me crazy, or bring in a double overtime, or make it like college football overtime, where they don't end in ties, like Texas A&M and LSU playing the game until 7 overtime and scoring 72 to 74 points. That is interesting. That is fun. If I'm watching a bunch of fucking multi-millionaires running on a field and falling down when somebody touches them and crying on the ground. They need pansy time at the end of the game to add into the time. It's like 8 minutes
It's because
extra
the clock
because
never
of sissy
stops.
time.
The
Stoppage
clock
time.
doesn't stop.
Extra stoppage time is for when those
God.
fucking millionaires fall on the ground and roll around.
Right,
on the
because they
ground.
never stop the clock. If the ball goes out of
Fucking
bounds and they
balls
take
hurt.
30 seconds to throw it back in, the clock is still running that whole time.
I just think soccer is boring. I'm
Crazy.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
says the person that never watches any matches. Okay.
I don't want because
Yeah.
it's boring. I played soccer growing up, and I played it. I've been there.
That's
I
like
have
saying
done this.
sex is boring because you've never had it.
Shots
Are
fired,
you
man.
calling me a virgin, my friend?
A virgin?
Right.
But
We're-
anywho,
We're at almost 40 minutes. Like, we should maybe...
anyway, hate me, love me. XFL is better than soccer.
No.
Well, the Beefy Boys does not endorse that opinion.
No.
No, that's just my personal
No.
opinion. I don't care if you love soccer. I know a lot of everybody in this world loves it because of the European League and MLS and all that other, the Spanish leagues and shit. But I personally could care less about it. It's just not
I
my
think
sport.
they should. I think all sports should have an overtime similar to Overwatch.
Really?
Yeah.
Or you like?
Where as long as it's like in motion and like in a tie and people are like on the whatever the point of a sports game would be.
I wish I could help. I wish I could help you there, but I never.
Hey,
played Overwatch.
speaking of Overwatch,
Speaking of
basically
Overwatch, Diablo
the
Inferno.
timer stops. There's
even have phones?
there's a timer and the timer stops.
But there's still people playing.
But
They're like still
the
people alive.
The timer like pauses. The timer starts whenever there's the overtime, where there's like a 10-second overtime or whatever. But then that timer stops whenever they're like in play around the objective.
okay.
Okay, I get it.
So it's like
I get it
whenever
little
there's a contestants going on, the overtime is like in pause, and then the timer starts running when like you kill the last player that's on the node or whatever.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that makes sense, but I don't know how you would incorporate it in sports. It'd be a little difficult.
Yeah,
But E-League, there you go.
there you go.
E-League's becoming a more serious sport, which is pretty cool. It's on ESPN more than hockey is, which I don't.
Is it called the E-League or the Owl, the Overwatch League?
Honestly, it should just be like first.
I'm just talking
first to
about-
score after a tie or something.
I'm just talking about like.
That's the way they used to do it. I don't want to get all into this because we're like at 45 minutes.
I'm just talking
Yeah, we
about
should switch
online
topics.
gaming, but yeah. So I mean, since we're talking about fucking Overwatch and video games and shit, I know that Joe got his Super Smash Bros. And is eager to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I've
How-
only had played it for about a day or so, but it's pretty awesome. 70 characters. They make you unlock them all, except 8.
You have
so you
Kirby
have the
yet?
8 starters, huh?
You have Kirby
You
yet?
start with Kirby.
Okay, good.
I've unlocked Kirby and Bowser. Haven't unlocked Zero Suit Samus yet, so we can't quite play. And unless you two want to hold one Joy-Con sideways, I gotta wait till I get more controllers anyway. But we'll have a play session. But yeah, I mean, it's literally everything from every Smash game ever. So like, yeah. And they have this mode called Spirits Mode where it's supposed to be like amalgamations of like other characters. Like I just played a match that was supposed to be against Otacon from Metal Gear, and it was Dr. Mario in a gray suit with like a giant Rob the Robot metal version. So stuff like that where they just like approximate other characters who aren't in the game with the characters they have.
That's funny.
It's pretty awesome.
That's great.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
It sounds fun, and like we talked about last week, Super Smash Bros. Is Super Smash Bros. Man, it's fucking badass. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good little fighting game. Speaking of fighting games, we were talking last week about them, but on Thursday they announced.
Kombat.
There you go.
The Game Awards, Mortal Kombat 11. Yes.
They announced Mortal Kombat 11, and the trailer was pretty badass. And
I thought the trailer was lame.
I'm watching the trailer with no volume, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm just seeing these two dudes like just beat the shit out of each other and kill each other, and I finally watch it later, and I'm hearing it with the volume, and then that stupid song starts playing. It's like a 21 Savage like shit fucking rap song. It's horrible. And it's so weird that they put that in there with with Mortal Kombat makes no sense. It's like just some dude mumbling about like kicking your ass with Raiden or some shit like that, and I don't know. You gotta see
Is it like the Pokemon rap, but as a Mortal Kombat song?
It's. I mean, it's like a real
You
song.
mean the DK rap?
It's like a real song,
No, I
and
mean
it
the
is
Pokemon rap.
fucking
I don't know
dumb.
Pokemon
It was at the end of the Pokemon episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's not like that.
Did you guys watch the Game Awards at all?
I was at work,
Nope.
so I couldn't catch it.
I
What I
didn't-
did see,
Did you see the
So
announcements?
what
at
is the
least?
Game Awards?
it's
It's the
like
biggest.
yeah, it's the Game Awards, fucking Game Awards.
It's
Game
the
of
Oscars
the year.
for video games. It's
Yeah.
the biggest video game
Speaking
award
of Game of the Year, quick shout out to God of War.
They won.
They
That's
won.
crazy.
They won Game of the Year,
So
and you know what?
Is,
I mean,
is it
makes
actually
sense.
a good game though?
God of War?
Yeah.
They
it's
usually
awesome.
are really good games.
Okay, cool.
And I don't
Neither
have
of you have played it. I have.
I
We'll talk
haven't,
about
no.
this on our best of. It's on the list. but-
Yeah, I haven't
It's
played.
awesome.
I haven't played it. It looks awesome.
Suffice to say, it's awesome, and it has like a well done story, which is crazy. For a
I've
comic
played
book.
1 through
Sweet.
3, and those were fucking badass. A game I didn't like on the PS was Devil's May Cry. Not my
I like
shtick.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, they announced a new one too, and they did
I know.
like a live musical performance from it that was just lame.
Ugh.
I like
Pull my
Devil May
devil
Cry.
Tales
trigger.
of
They
Sweeney
kept saying over
Todd.
and over. again.
DMC is
Not
great.
that great. Yeah, but there was also a new
But there's only
Far
two of those
Cry
games, though.
game.
New Far Cry game,
Did
and
you
you know
see that? It's a sequel to Far Cry.
it's a
5.
sequel to Far Cry 5. And when I was watching it, I was like, this, unfortunately, doesn't look like the greatest thing
You crazy?
ever.
I thought it looked awesome.
It looks cool, but it doesn't look like a Far Cry, like a full on Far Cry experience. It looks more of like kind of like a DLC. You know, that's just kind of how it
reminded
felt.
me of Far Cry Primal, where it's clearly on the Far Cry 5 map, but something crazy is going on.
Oh, well,
It-
it's
and like-
yeah, but Primal was kind of the same way, and they didn't. You know, the cool thing is when I saw this, it made a lot more sense. They're selling the game for 40
$40, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
I mean, at that point, it's like, why not get it? Why not play like a full-on expansion game that they're bringing out as a sequel to Far Cry 5? Because the father was right, apparently, and
Joseph
It's-
Seed, get out of here.
I mean, it's gonna be cool.
It
And
looked cool. It looked like Mad Max if everybody had pastel colored shit, man. It looked.
that's true.
looked
Looks
pretty
like paintball.
Looks like
Did you
Fortnite.
see the Smash announcement at the Game Awards? This shit was crazy. So are either of you Persona 5 players?
I haven't played the game, but I've heard they're really good.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Persona 5 is pretty awesome. They did a cutscene from Persona 5 with like the characters talking about it, and then like the guy like is holding this piece of paper and he turns it over and it's the Smash logo on the back, and everyone just goes crazy. The first DLC for Smash is Joker from Persona 5, which is a crazy announcement. That game's not even on the Switch. A Persona game has never been on a Nintendo console, so they're just going nuts with it. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of fucking video games, though, fucking Final Fantasy 14 just announced a new expansion, and it's fucking amazing.
Their third expansion, is that correct?
I think so.
Because there was the one in
There's
the like
Stormblood, and then the other one.
the other one, Heaven's
Heaven's
Word
Word,
or
yeah.
whatever. I have Heaven's Word. I haven't played it yet. I didn't care for that weird like religious dragon.
Yeah, but
society.
the like one of the really cool aspects of the newest expansion that I'm really looking forward to is there's going to be a crafting end game objective of repairing that area that was in the Dragon War,
What?
and then at the end of it, it's going to become player housing in that area.
What? That was cool because that area was so different than everything else, and it was just in that one area. This was like the frozen area. you mean?
The snow
Yeah.
area, and it's
Yeah.
going to become player housing too, which
That's
is like really
cool.
cool because you're like players getting together to like rebuild the area into
Yeah.
your own housing.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14's on sale right now too for the Game Awards, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other big
Uh,
announcement was Crash Team Racing remake. For
That's
Nintendo
Crash
Switch.
Bandicoot, right?
Yeah, racing
Or
game.
Bandicoot.
They're bringing it back.
It's Bandicooch.
Bandicoot.
I mean, God, dude, I remember playing the first one, or like the old ones.
Yeah,
Well, that game was fun. That
They-
game was a
they
lot
just
of fun.
re-
I had a
released them,
version
you know.
that was on the Game Boy Advance SP or something like that, or Game Boy Advance or something.
That's a shout out. All
Dude,
right.
wow, the SP, dude.
I had that shit. It was fucking good.
That was the clamshell with like
Yeah.
the backlight.
Yeah, it was the shit back.
I had
in
the
day.
original.
That
It was
game
like
had some good
Purple
games.
Crystal.
Oh, I had
Remember
the
there was
original.
Oh
as
yeah, I
well.
was a Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance fanboy.
I had
Yeah,
the
that
Game
game-
Boy,
that-
Game
that
Boy
shit had
Advance,
some
and
good
Game Boy
games.
Advance SP, and then I kind of.
I had a Game
Got out
Gear
of
when
it.
I was a kid. All right, you know what I'm talking about.
I had a Sega handheld. I forgot what it was
Was
called
it the
though.
Nomad,
I-
or was it the Game Gear?
It was like this big. I don't know what it was though.
Yeah.
What was the Sega handheld Does anybody?
What
know?
are you talking about?
Oh,
There were
they
two.
had
There were
that,
the
yeah.
Game Gear and the Nomad.
I think I had a game. Yeah, the Game Gear.
I had one too. It took like 8 AA batteries and they lasted a half an hour.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. I remember
Yeah.
that. And I had like a dolphin game on
Yeah,
that.
Echo the
I think
Dolphin.
I had that one
Yeah.
too.
Echo
Yeah.
the Dolphin. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that dolphin game.
Wow, what a weird coincidence that 3 Game Gear owners who owned Echo the Dolphin are in one room at it. I think we're the only 3 in the United States. All right. Yeah. Hailey-
Another game that was announced was a new Dragon Age.
Oh yeah, that was a buried.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
that
a
looked cool.
buried announcement.
Yeah,
And
I
it
didn't.
was a
I actually didn't
teaser
hear about it
trailer.
till today.
And they didn't even mention the words Dragon Age in it. It was lame.
And RDR2 won some awards. I know Arthur Morgan, the guy who played Arthur Morgan, was
He won for best
an award.
performance.
Yep,
Yeah.
best
Yeah,
performance.
they won a bunch.
They won best music
Best
or
score,
best
yeah.
score. Pretty badass. That's
They
cool.
were just.
I think if they,
dominating.
I don't think that they were really focused on the awards, which is pretty cool because they would have released it a lot earlier if they were. Because when you get a game like Gears of War, people have more time to play it. People
Yeah,
enjoy
that's
the
still
story more.
52% on Red Dead, but that's not out of lack of trying.
story or
Yeah.
total?
Story.
God, I've got to be at like 23. I am so far behind.
I have
It's-
so many thoughts
still in
about
the
the
first
ending of that
camp or
game.
what?
I'm at the second camp. I'm in
Oh,
the
okay.
I'm in the lagoon.
I'm on the 4th camp
The
Jesus
4th
fucking Christ.
is which one? The cave?
after the city.
Okay, so
yeah.
you hit the big moment. then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
all we're
now
gonna
I
say.
know we're
Relax. Relax.
So now I know we move camps, which is cool. So I
you
won't
move
spend-
camps at every chapter
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that because I'm on.
because you're so far. Oh, you're still at like the like.
I'm in the swamp,
Oh my god.
dude. I am so far.
So you're like outside
behind.
roads. Get
What?
on that, man. Quit
Dude.
playing your Madden the Gathering and focus up.
It's
Wait,
hard
Magic
because
the
I only get
Gathering?
like
Madden,
playing-
Madden the Gathering.
Oh.
I'm
I
only
got excited there
because
for a
I play. I only have like 30 minutes to play, and if I get too involved in Red Dead, then I can't play any story mode because the story mode takes a while to get through, and you got to ride around shit. I don't have the time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So
I did.
I play Madden the Gathering.
How do you only have 30 minutes?
Because it's quick. Because I've been okay. This is going to be a transition into Beefy Bois Health Club over here.
Do we want to talk about
Yeah,
Haley's
yeah,
favorite games, or do
What's that?
we want to talk about Haley's favorite
Oh,
games, or
God.
are we coming back to this?
Haley, do you have or Babe? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite game?
Okay, corrected himself.
Like, nah, eh.
All right, that's
Does Wii Sports count?
Sure.
From
Wii
back
Sports
in like
counts.
middle school.
Wii Sports Bowling. We tried to get my grandfather to play that, and he
Oh
just
my
kept
God.
throwing the controller in the air.
Dude, yeah, dude, Wii Sports Bowling was the shit. Where you could like
And
even you
tennis.
could even put like spin on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's badass.
My sister
And
totally smashed a Wiimote while we were playing baseball. She was trying to throw a pitch too hard. I'm like, put the strap
baseball's
on.
fun when you put put your strap on.
This was before they had those like rubber condoms for them too. So like those things were.
Put your
hard.
strap on.
All right, focus up. Anyways,
Put your strap on.
Beefy
and then
Bois
put your
Health
rubber
Club or
condom
whatever.
on. Yeah, Beefy Bois Health Club. It's pretty fun to announce this because I'm not too big on like publicly announcing as far as like my workout routine or my health or anything like that, just because I figure people don't really care. It's just pretty much like people like my brother, my girlfriend, and then some close family that care about my, well-being as far as working out and being active, right? So I'm a big guy, naturally.
Beefy Boy.
I'm a beefy boy. But I'm not losing the beefiness. I'm always going to be a big fella. But I'm finally putting my big size to good use. And for the last 22 days, I have ran 2 miles plus, with the exception of 2 days off in the whole time that I've been running.
You say 22 days?
22 days. So
Damn.
24 days total I've been doing workouts and active, but 2 days I took off of running just because my legs needed the rest. So 22 days I have ran 2 miles plus out of this last month, and I'm looking to just keep it going forward. I want to give a big shout out to my friends, my family, and then everybody that's listening now to get on board with the health train and the Beefy Bois Health Club, and just know that I don't mean to like shove my fitness down your throat, but it's something that I haven't been focused on, but now it's finally part of my routine, part of my life, and I feel good. I'm sleeping better, which is it's great, man. It feels good. It feels good to feel that way.
On the health note, I'll shout out what I've been doing is I slept 12 hours in the last 3 days, and I haven't been eating lunch because I don't want to spend like $10 on a sandwich, and then play video games.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Ballin'.
But yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody, and
So do you run on a treadmill or outside?
I got the treadmill behind you right there.
Oh yeah.
I do the.
Avoid the cold
Yeah,
and the
I
rain
could
and
run
the hills.
outside, but it's like why run in nasty weather when I can just come home,
Yeah.
change, and then run right
It should
there.
be exciting for you though when the weather gets nicer to actually.
Oh
be able
yeah, to go
out
outside,
run.
and
This neighborhood isn't really conducive for it though. There's not really sidewalks or.
Well, this yeah, but the
Like
street
parks
right
and stuff.
outside, like you can run, around the whole.
Oh, you can
the whole
circle the
neighborhood.
block, sure,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
boring.
Or you can
It
run
is.
in the middle of the street.
That's true. And but yeah, so I did that, and I got a gym membership at LA Fitness, and I've gone, and it's fucking badass, dude. I love it. Very cool. And moving on to some topics that we've been waiting to talk about.
Some movies.
Some
Movies,
some superhero
some
movies.
Marvel movies.
So some
Marvel.
big announcements, or not big announcements. Sorry, it's already been fucking announced. Big trailer came
Did you
out.
guys
on
watch it?
Friday.
I didn't watch it.
You haven't watched it?
I didn't watch it either.
Busy.
I didn't watch it either.
I didn't realize it was out
my
till this morning, and I was working all day.
I saved it on a Facebook when I saw it while I was at work. and
Should
then-
we pause recording so me and
Yes.
Vito can watch it?
Please,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Pause recording. Take a look.
Oh
Be
my
right back.
God.
All right, we're back. Vito and I just watched that Avengers 4 trailer. So yeah, let's get back into it,
pretty
Christian.
alright.
It's pretty fucking exciting.
Uh,
So now that we're getting into the Marvel universe, I just want to say that this movie came out, created quite a buzz, and I didn't see it in theaters, not just because of all of the hype or whatever it was, but I don't know much about the character. I don't really care about the character. He's badass in Civil War. I liked him in Civil
sorry,
War.
which character are we talking
I'm getting it.
about? Okay.
Black Panther.
Slow reveal.
Yeah, and so we finally watched Black Panther at home. And I honestly do not understand how that movie was perceived to be so amazing. It's one of the
crazy.
weaker Marvel films, to be honest.
False. It's no
False.
Iron Man 2. All right.
Iron Man 2 sucks.
Yes,
And,
I agree.
I think Black Panther is better.
Remember
than
when he
Iron
goes
Man
like
2.
this? Oh, what a cool villain! He can go like this, like he's jumping rope. Yeah, Whiplash.
Yeah, no,
I.
I agree with you there. I mean, it's better than Iron Man 2. That's a very low bar to begin with. And I just, honestly, it just didn't really, they made it kind of at the wrong time. It didn't make any sense to make it now because it didn't follow along with the Infinity War story all the way up until it was like oh wait, we're going to battle in Wakanda.
Yeah.
So here we are. This is a quick movie that we're putting out. Black Panther, Killmonger, our bad guy, fucking sucks.
What are you talking about?
Dude,
Killmonger was
Killmonger
one of
sucked.
the best Marvel movie villains of all time
How,
because
how
he
in the
was
hell? How in the hell was he one of the best Marvel villains ever?
because you could understand where he was coming from. He was relatable, unlike most of them. All right, he was an orphan from Oakland who didn't understand why his people weren't angrier than they were. Like he made some good points, just like Thanos.
He
Thanos
was
right.
so fucking cheesy. He
Yeah.
was so cheesy. Every fight, he'd be like, "Oh, this is what you deserve. This, Uncle Ben. Oh, fuck you, dude." And it's like, wow, this villain fucking
What is
sucks.
that impression of?
Well, I don't know. I don't care. I didn't like it. I think he was horrible. The guy who plays
Crazy.
Black Panther is cool.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, no,
Not to be confused with Michael
Killmonger.
J. Jordan. Oh, Black Panther.
That's
Chadwick
Killmonger.
Boseman.
Yeah. The guy who plays Black
Yeah.
Panther is awesome. I think Black Panther's a cool character. I just didn't think his movie, when he was fighting in China or wherever, Malaysia, China, whatever Asian country they were fighting in, that was cool, but didn't understand it. I didn't
That
understand
scene
a
on
lot
the
of it.
waterfall, that Afrofuturism shit.
I
His
think it was
sister's whole character arc. I mean, come on.
and then I think his sister is just
Fucking amazing.
What are you hating on this
Okay,
on Shuri
no,
for? She's
yes.
great.
she's annoying. She's
You're crazy.
annoying.
You're crazy.
Acting like fucking Bruce Banner's some kind of retard out there.
Well,
It's
she
like,
knew how
oh
to
my
do,
god.
Vision, like trying to get him back.
She didn't do Vision, and
Are you
that's
talking
why
about-
Vision got
She-
fucking incinerated.
She's like legit smarter than he is because
Yeah.
of the technology that they have. So they're
Well,
just
yeah,
more
I know, but
advanced.
then you can't like look at a
educated.
guy like Bruce, and be like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, and it's like, oh.
Well, also she never was like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. She was just like, I obviously have better education than you because I've been more advancedly technological for like thousands of years or whatever.
I never freeze.
And the you know the very forced colonizer jokes that weren't even funny to begin with. Just a lot of that movie didn't need to be. A lot of shit didn't need to be put in that movie, like Killmonger being so fucking cheesy. Just make him a bad guy. Don't make him a fucking, a big sob story that you're supposed to. I don't
So you're
care
mad that
about-
he has a
I don't care
deep
about the villain.
character?
I don't care. I don't care about the villain.
So you're mad that he has a strong character.
Yeah,
A
he's
strong
angry
character.
about like
You're
What are you
mad.
talking
You're mad
about?
that
His
he
great
has.
character.
Dude, the
You're-
guy's a
You're mad that
bitch.
he is actually a
He's
character.
a sissy boy.
he
He's
has a
sissy.
character arc, and like I said,
He
he has some
actually has a
cogent
character.
points. Yeah.
He's a sissy. You guys like him because he's relatable. I don't like him because he's cheesy.
I like him because he has more like actual content to his character than any villain that
Than
actually
almost
exists.
every Marvel villain. Yeah.
Like most villains are just like, this is a guy with 8 arms, or this is a guy who has beam powers. This
this
is
is a purple guy
who-
from space.
Yeah.
That's why I like watching those. And, I like watching superhero movies to see over the top villains. Isn't that what it's all about? Like, if you guys like realistic villains, why don't you guys love the
Well,
Tobey Maguire
see-
Spider-Man so much? Because it's like
No,
James Franco's wearing
that's
a
why.
suit and
That's
flying
why I
around.
love the
He's relatable.
Christopher Nolan Batman movies because
I-
they have
see, I
relatable
like that.
villains.
I actually liked those Spider-Man movies, but I was also a kid at the time.
I do too.
They were
and
terrible.
I agree with you.
They were all
but
terrible.
the thing about Christopher Nolan's Batman films are his bad guys aren't fucking whiny little sissy boys like Killmonger.
Bane was
Dude, Bane fucking butchered.
false. That's the best of the 3 movies.
He butchered
That's the best of the 3
butchered
movies.
Batman. Fucked his shit up. And I know Killmonger kicked Black Panther's ass in the first little fight they had.
The top of the waterfall or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, you can't compare Killmonger and Bane. Not a fucking chance. You can't compare Killmonger and Joker. It's not gonna happen. Those characters are way more in depth than Killmonger, and they're not whiny little bitches.
Well,
Look at what look
I
at
mean,
how
Bane
Joker,
and Killmonger basically have the same origin story.
look at how
least
Joker is, man.
the Christopher Nolan Bane.
Joker's
Yeah, I
grimy.
didn't like
He
that
took his
movie.
ass kickings like a
I think.
champ.
I mean, we don't have to talk about this now, but I think The Dark Knight is the most overrated comic book movie of all time. It is not a good movie.
I think Black Panther is the most overrated superhero movie of all time because sure, it was not the worst. It's not the worst, obviously. I didn't say it was the worst, but it is not anywhere close to the best.
What is
when
your
you got,
favorite
when you
of
got
the
movies
Marvel
like
movies?
dude, Infinity War, are you shitting
Okay,
me?
yeah, that's a
Infinity War.
I think there's a
There's too many
quintessential
characters in Infinity War.
Captain America, the first one, like the first Avenger,
yeah, first Avenger.
was really good. I didn't see Winter Soldier all the way through.
Oh, yeah, you
That one's
still
good.
watch that.
And what's up?
I think there's a quintessential difference that can be explained by our likings between like why you like the movies and why we like the movies. And I think that's because your favorite is Infinity War, which is honestly not one of the best movies at all, in my opinion.
In the Marvel universe.
In the Marvel
or-
universe.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
Even, yeah. But Thor Ragnarok is my favorite.
Thor Ragnarok was
yeah,
badass.
That's a fun one.
Badass. And that had
That's like a comedy almost, man.
it was
Yeah.
the guy that directed it. I think is the same
Taika
guy.
Waititi?
Yeah, it's the guy who did oh my god, the vampire movie.
Vampires in the Dark.
Yes,
Yeah.
what we do
Or
in the
whatever.
what we do in the shadows.
yeah.
With Flight of the Conchords guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Is
movie's so
okay.
good.
Off the topic of superhero movies,
Yeah,
that
that is a
movie is
great
one of the
movie.
funniest movies I've
We're
ever watched.
werewolves, not swearwolves. That's my favorite part.
They're making a sequel.
I know, called We're Wolves. I know.
Yep, I'm super pumped.
I need to see that. I didn't know it was
Um,
coming out. Is there a trailer?
I don't think there's a
It's-
trailer yet.
okay.
I think
Been
it's
going
just
on for a
announced
while,
and it's
yeah.
in production and all that. But
Excited.
Yeah, I think I think Infinity War is probably my favorite just because just all of the characters that I love. You know, you're bringing in Guardians of the Galaxy, which outside of like the usual Avengers, those movies are like, you know, Guardians 1, Guardians 2,
Yeah, they're really
fucking
good.
awesome. Those are like two of my favorite Marvel movies.
Those, yeah.
I
outside
just
of Black
enjoy them. The
Panther.
music is
Oh, yeah.
awesome. The music is killer in those. And just, you know, the bad guys are funny. They're cool. They're, you know, I just think the comedy aspect of those movies was a good kind of like escape from the usual superhero movies that we see all the time.
That scene at the end of Guardians 2 where Yondu's funeral, that Cat Stevens song,
Oh,
that gets,
yeah.
gets me every time.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's,
Yeah, that's I
I like
love
those. I
Guardians
like-
2. I've seen Guardians 2 probably about six times. I've seen Guardians 1 probably fucking another 6 times. I love those movies. I've seen Infinity War with you, babe, like 3 fucking times. So that's a lot of hours I spend on these Marvel movies. I love them. And I think the Spider-Man movie with the new
Homecoming.
Tom
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
I haven't
that was-
seen it.
hella
Is
good.
that
it
was awesome.
streaming anywhere? I haven't seen it.
It's streaming in a place called Redbox.
Yeah, well,
I've gotten
I don't
it on
wanna pay
Amazon.
for it. Oh, is it on it? Oh, you.
Oh
have it
yeah,
on
you can
Amazon.
just rent it off Amazon.
Yeah, I
Hey,
just,
I don't want to pay.
no,
Speaking
no,
of
you
movies
can
we just
buy
rented
it
off
on
Amazon, we watched
Amazon.
Kick-Ass 2.
Like it's on Prime streaming. Do I have to pay for it additionally?
Oh, well, yeah, I think so.
You have
don't
to
wanna
pay
pay for
like
it.
it's like, dude, it's like fucking
I pay $100 for these streaming services. Everything should just be on them.
it's
okay?
like $3, dude.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like $3.
For to rent it, to watch it once.
Well, it's better than
Shenanigans.
what I do. I go to the
Just buy
Redbox, rent a
movies.
movie, and forget about it
No.
for a fucking week.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Streaming
You're
next
that
thing you
person.
know,
TV
my bill
shows.
is like
Get out of here.
$18 for a shitty movie.
Yeah, you
I
pay
didn't even
$18
finish.
to see fucking.
Plus, like, nothing is on Netflix. Anytime I look for a
Netflix
movie,
originals are on Netflix.
No, I mean, I like Netflix for what it does have, but like nothing I'm ever looking for is ever on Netflix.
I know.
Ooh,
Well, I also have-
a Netflix original that I just watched on, I believe it was Wednesday night, is going to be on my 2018 favorites list.
Ooh,
And I'm not going to say it now, but
forecasting.
yeah,
a
I'm just
preview
bringing
of
it in that there's a movie on there that will be there.
It's a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie. It's a movie. And going back to Marvel, I loved the Black Panther as him, you know, as a character. And I think he's cool. I think he's a badass. And I think their technology is fucking awesome. But to be honest, the movie just didn't didn't do it for me. I like the guy who lived in the mountains, the dude who like rescued him
Man-Ape
from the
or
river.
whatever?
Yeah, I like that
yeah.
guy. He's cool. He's
But
badass.
also, so I feel like one of the main reasons I feel like I really like that movie is because it almost feels Lord of the Ringsy, but as in like Africa, where like they have a lot of really good detail on like the armor sets and like the like culture around it, and like when you see a big battle in Lord of the Rings and you see all the fucking orcs and shit, and like that looks really cool. And
Yeah.
there's like a very similar effect to like the like African armored like Wakandans versus the other guys or whatever.
Right, but you know where you really got to see all of that like super cool armor and like, you know, their badass like army was Infinity War when they were fighting all those big creatures like
Well, yeah,
Thanos'
okay.
army.
My
And
my favorite spot in that movie actually is when Thor comes in that fight.
oh
Yes!
yes, fucking
I mean, that's
and
pretty
with
awesome.
with Groot and
I am
Rocket.
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
Rogers.
But that entrance that he does is so cool.
No,
You're
it's
all
not, the
badass.
best part of Infinity War is when the Guardians of the Galaxy find Thor. All right,
That's cool.
Chris Pratt is sucking his
Oh,
gut
yeah.
in, and yeah, that's a great scene.
It's good. Yeah,
What's it, a angel pirate?
I'm extremely, I'm extremely excited for the you know, Avengers Endgame. It's gonna be fun. It looks like they're releasing it a month earlier than they were initially, which I don't know what that's all about. They're probably releasing it earlier because of a bigger project they have that they want to try to bring
what's
in.
going on? I was coughing
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot.
so they were supposed to release it in May, but then with the trailer they announced it was in April.
April.
April
The
29th,
Endgame?
I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Avengers is
Like
coming
the
out in
very end
April,
of
but I'm
April.
assuming
Right.
that they're probably pushing that back to introduce a new movie
They want to
probably
get
in the
Phase
summertime.
5 started or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman or whatever. Fucking
Captain
what is it
Marvel.
again?
Captain
that comes
Marvel.
out. That comes out
Marvel,
before.
yeah.
I keep
Wonder
forgetting
Woman is a
beca-
DC character.
No, I know, but I
Vito.
keep
Do we need
forgetting
to
because I
explain?
know Wonder Woman from like when I was a childhood or whatever, but I never actually knew about Captain Marvel until the movies. So
See, the DC
and
movies,
then I like looked into it afterwards.
like the DC movies were, besides Batman with Christopher Nolan.
That's not even really their cinematic.
That's not really.
universe,
That's not the DC style. But I did like the Superman movie that
Which one?
the one where he where half of Metropolis gets murdered.
Speaking about
Man of
Superman though, I
Steel?
really liked that like Superman TV show that we had back like 10 years ago or something.
Smallville?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
God.
fun.
Both Joe and
Oh my
Joe and
God.
Haley went, oh god.
To be
No,
fair,
I think
was
it's the
younger.
Man of Steel with the newer Superman.
That
Not
was like
the,
06.
No.
Well, that was Superman Returns. Was
That's
like 06.
Superman Returns,
And
and
then
that movie was a
2010-ish
piece of
was
shit.
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. I
So
like
not
that
Batman
one.
v Superman.
I like that one. Batman v Superman sucked. Wonder Woman.
I didn't see Wonder Woman.
I
But
liked Wonder
I tried to
Woman.
watch Batman v Superman, and that movie was terrible.
I hadn't seen Wonder Woman yet, but I really want to.
I liked Wonder Woman. It was
Yeah.
Is
fun.
anybody excited for Aquaman? I just think it looks so
No.
ridiculous.
No. It
I
looks
like
fucking
okay,
stupid.
so
My
I
dad
like the
is.
guy
Jason
who,
Momoa is like perfect casting. for that.
yeah, I like him as Aquaman, but I don't. I haven't really seen anything interesting.
It's just
enough.
weird to hear Khal Drogo speak English.
He's in a show on Netflix I really want to check out. And if you're a listener, you should let me know if it's worth checking out. It's called The Frontier, I believe, or something close
Even
to
heard
that.
of that.
And I think he's in it. I think that's what it's called. I can't fucking remember. There's so many Netflix shows, but it's got
Yeah.
like 3 seasons. He's the main character. If it's good, holler at your boy and let me know.
Oh, and that Netflix show that has like the Simpsons art style is really good.
Disenchanted?
Yeah,
I couldn't get into it.
It's so good.
I
I
didn't
wanted
check
to
that out.
like it so much more than I liked it. And I like Abby Jacobson too.
I also like I think it's Hilda. It's a really good one.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a good one.
BoJack Horseman obviously is my favorite.
I haven't seen BoJack
You
Horseman.
gotta get on it, man. It's the
I
best
remember
show
you
on
were
Netflix.
BoJack Horseman for Halloween
Yeah.
once.
Every year until the show sucks.
What is
I want
it?
to go back. I want to go back to
What is that though?
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
It's like this. It's a Netflix show
yeah.
about like this like depressed guy going through a midlife crisis, except he's like a half horse, half human. So it's like all
Oh.
full of animal puns, but like it's like it has that Rick and Morty thing where it's like it can get very sad very suddenly. So it's like
Huh.
the realest show in television if it happened to be a cartoon about people with like his agent is a cat, you know?
Do
Or
you
stuff
watch
like
Rick
that.
and Morty?
There's an episode where he gets in a fight with a Navy SEAL that's actually a SEAL. Neil McBeal, the Navy SEAL, is like a SEAL who's a Navy SEAL. It includes the classic line, I didn't know he was a Navy SEAL, I just thought he was a regular kind of SEAL. But I want to go back. I want to go back
Seems
to Thor Ragnarok
Fuck yeah.
because there's a new Men in Black coming out with Chris
Oh, yeah.
Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, new comedy duo. So.
Who's Tessa Thompson?
She
again?
was in Thor Ragnarok. She was the.
Oh,
also-
was she the boozer, the alcoholic?
Yeah,
The
she was
Valkyrie?
also in
The Valkyrie, yeah.
Westworld. She was the
Oh yeah, that's
corporate
right.
girl
Holy,
from Westworld.
holy
Yeah.
fuck! I forgot all about that. I haven't even seen Westworld 2.
I wouldn't.
The
I
second
watched
season.
2 episodes and I'm like, this is bad.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's
I
not
like the
great.
way that the first one ended.
Yeah,
the first
it was
season.
the perfect ending.
Fucking crazy. I like that show. I think that show was pretty badass.
I'm
I gotta
excited.
check it out.
Cause like I loved Men in Black back in the day, and then like
Comes the Man in Black.
and then I also love both of those actors in Thor Ragnarok. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So she's taking over for Will Smith, I presume, and then Chris
He's gonna
Hemsworth
be
is
Tommy Lee
for.
Jones.
Yep, Tommy Lee Jones.
I mean, I think it's
And they're probably
going
gonna cameo both of them in there.
my understanding is like it's
Assuming.
supposed to be they're expanding internationally, so this is like their Australian branch or something, or British or something,
Oh.
which makes sense since they're fighting aliens or whatever. All right, we got any more Marvel movie thoughts? We're like an hour and 15. We
Babe,
can start to
Marvel movie
wrap.
thoughts? What you got?
Yeah, Black
Ant-Man? Ant-Man?
Oh.
Anybody like the Ant-Man?
I like it, man.
Did you see the new one?
Yes.
No.
Me
What were you
neither.
gonna say? I thought you were gonna say that.
I
you
like
had
it enough
nothing.
to see the first one. I
Uh,
guess.
You guys,
There's
wait,
so
were
many
you?
of
Did you have something to
Yeah.
say about Black Panther?
I never saw the Hulk movies either, even though I like the Hulk.
That's supposed to be the worst one.
Oh, good.
Haley's got something to say,
Do it.
Don't.
but I
got
accidentally
something
cut her off
to
on
say.
accident. I feel terrible. Go ahead.
Do it.
I thought Black Panther was okay. I think for me, what I didn't like about Black Panther, like it had nothing to do with like the whole, like, coming up to like Infinity War. I guess like it didn't really have that much meaning. Like, you know, like Disney wanted to make it just solely for like money and you know like the overhype and all that. But,
It's a
like,
cash grab.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok
All
didn't
cash,
have anything to
you
do
can
with
grab.
No, yeah, it
Thanos.
did.
Neither did Guardians 2.
Guardians 2 and
yeah.
Thor Ragnarok are part of the story. They take place at the exact same time.
Yeah, and Loki.
So
frickin'
I feel like maybe that movie suffered a
really
little
did.
bit from the fact that it was an origin movie.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other series, they
See,
had like three movies.
had they released it,
If they'd released it earlier and then done like a second movie that led into Infinity War, then I think
Yeah.
you guys would have
it
enjoyed
would have
more.
been a little bit better.
But
and
as
if
it's
they changed
see, I
Killmonger.
rule the movies as their own
right,
subjects, so that's why I really liked it. Is because I felt like as a film, it was just really really fun to watch.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, when you bring in an origin film in the middle of this, like, building up to like your biggest movie of the franchise, it's hard to like throw that out there. Be like, oh my God, here's Black Panther. You know, like really quick. Wait a minute, he's in Civil War. Here's his origin story. You're like, whoa. You know, I mean, they did the same thing with Ant-Man too,
Yeah.
where they just kind of like brought in Ant-Man like out of thin air. Ant-Man showed up, but that was like introducing him into Civil War, and then he was more, he was more being brought into,
They had to do it anyway because
and he's a big part of what's coming
'cause
up
they had
in the
Quantum
Avengers.
Realm,
Not to mention, there's not that much they can do in a movie in comparison to the comics. Where in the comics, they probably had like hundreds of heroes or something.
Oh yeah.
In the so.
Plus they dusted Black Panther off, and when Thanos snapped his fingers, he's gone.
Well, yeah.
So you know what that means? That means that they didn't know that movie was going to be
Well,
as big as it was.
You know what's gonna happen, right? Because the only people who survived that Thanos snap were like the
It's
original
the original
six.
And Rocket.
Yeah, and,
yeah, so
and
there's
Rocket.
Gonna be
Yeah.
one more original story.
So
line,
and then they're all
it's
gonna
lead back into like fixing whatever happened.
I don't think there's going to
the
well,
original
this is,
people are gonna die
Exactly.
because they aren't the actors aren't coming back, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna have the newer cast of
I don't even think they're going to die. I think they're just going to fucking go off. So
or
they're going to
retire.
they're
or
going to
whatever.
they're going to retire. They're
But
not
I feel
going
like
to
they'd
kill
want
off
to go
our
with
favorites.
a big bang though.
I think they're all gonna die. Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna die. I feel like
mean,
that'd be the good way to do it.
You know,
because-
Nebula's
Like in
gonna
a
be the
big
one who
sacrifice?
kills
Yeah, a
Thanos,
big sacrifice.
right?
If
to,
they
like,
killed
save
off
everybody.
Doctor Strange in this one, I will be
Well, no,
very
there's a second
upset.
one.
Well,
because
isn't he the one who's dusted as well?
He's
Yeah.
dusted, but
I feel like
if
everybody. I feel like everybody who's dusted.
Everyone who's
is not
dusted is
gonna
coming
die.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
I okay. Oh, God, guys. I know they're coming back because
Okay.
everybody has to come back to
Besides
fight.
Loki.
There's no way they
Loki's
take out
full on
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
Loki didn't get dusted. He just died.
He just got his
He
neck.
just got
full on
murdered.
just dead.
Good. He's obnoxious.
And by the way, I remember,
liked him.
quick shout out to our boy from Portland, Damon. I remember when we both came back from watching the new Avengers, we couldn't get over the fact that Hulk is terrified of Thanos. And it's
Yeah.
hilarious because he got a fucking 3-piece combo.
He got his ass kicked on that
He got his ass
fucking
kicked.
Asgardian
Yeah.
ship. in
And
the
Hulk was
beginning,
too
man.
scared to come out once after
Yeah.
that. And
He got too used to that life being like a
being that big fighter boy
champion
in Ragnarok. Yeah.
God, that was the best fucking movie.
That was a really
It was a
good
good
movie.
one. It
That
was
was
fun.
super cool.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Jeff Goldblum fucking with his melt stick
Yeah.
or whatever he called it. Go ahead. You're gonna say something?
No.
Say something.
No, I'm good.
Tug it.
No, I'm good.
Tug it.
I'm good.
Tug it.
I'm good.
Do it.
I am pumped for Endgame. It's gonna be a 3-hour runtime, somewhere around that.
3 hours.
3
My
hours.
God.
Isn't that the usual for
You
like
gotta
a good
go.
movie?
Yeah, you gotta go to a movie. If I'm going to go to the theaters and spend as much as I'm
90
spending
minutes
in
is
the
the
theater,
perfect runtime for a movie, man.
Oh,
Not in
God.
the
Not
theater.
for
10 minutes?
not a
Endgame.
theater. Yeah, not a theater movie.
I ain't got that kind of time.
Unless it's a movie like Overlord, where it's like over the top violence and it's
You're
quick,
just, like-
it's fast paced.
You're just a cheap motherfucker, and you're like, if I'm paying $20 for this movie, it better be 6 hours long.
You're goddamn right. I went and saw Interstellar in theaters, and I wasn't disappointed.
Oh,
I saw that at the Crest. I spent like $6 for
movie sucked.
Haley and I's ticket, and it was 3.5 hours in the theater, and we had like 3 bags of popcorn. I was fucking stoked. That whole date night cost me like $16.
Damn.
That's
All
the
right.
Crest for you, pal.
All right.
And Interstellar was Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, the movie
One of
was
the
good.
best
It was just
movies.
fucking
It's one of my
weird.
favorites.
That movie sucked.
I fell asleep
Correct.
during Inception. And I kept waking up to all the wah sounds. It's annoying. Anyways,
The Martian's another good space movie.
That movie also.
that movie was
sucked.
fun.
You don't
I
understand
haven't
space
seen
movies.
either
I
of
think
those.
that's what it is. You don't understand them.
interesting.
It's not that that's
not-
what it is. You're not interested in this. I love the
I
idea
try to
of
get
space.
interested in it. It was
Space
like
scares
Snorefest.
the shit out of me.
It's
It's like
the
the
final
ocean.
frontier.
I'm scared of two things.
Why are
in
you
this
scared
world.
of the ocean? Don't be scared of the
I'm
ocean.
horrified of the ocean
Like
because there's
just-
monsters in that.
Like the
fucking
normal
thing.
ass ocean or like
Monsters.
the deep ocean?
Like deep ocean.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah.
And normal
Duh.
ocean
Don't be-
because
there's
the
nothing-
normal ocean turns into the deep ocean and it's
Well,
fucking
yeah, I
scary
guess.
because there's monsters. There is monsters in
Just
the
don't
water.
sink to the bottom.
Just don't sink to the bottom. Yeah.
I'd be dead.
All right.
Well, yeah, because you would die before
you
you
would
sink
float.
to the bottom.
You would float if you died.
Did you guys ever see the second 300 movie? Like the over the top, super bloody, super violent
No.
movie? So it's badass. It's all violence.
I've
That's all
only
it
seen
is.
like the 300.
It's
movie.
violence and boobs. So it's like,
So is the
what
first
more could the
one?
Beefy Boys
I
want
mean,
in a
it's
movie?
a Robert Rodriguez movie.
Yeah. And so, dude, this guy's like execution in that movie, they tied like two ginormous weights to this dude's hands and threw him off a boat. And so just imagine like having that be your death. It stuck with me ever since the first time I watched it because
It's
I'm
like
like, that
pirates when
sounds
they have to walk off the plank.
yeah, but they're not. Yeah, but they're just walking off the plank and then they're stuck in the ocean. This guy's
No,
like,
no, they're like weighed down usually.
You know it's a myth, right? They would just throw you overboard. They wouldn't set up this elaborate plank for you to walk off of.
I'm talking about movies.
dude, you're taking the fun out
Okay.
of the plank.
Whatever.
It's like when
I bring the
Johnny,
facts.
It's like when Johnny Depp
you
walks
guys
the plank.
planking?
Oh God.
You
The hottest social
guys
media trend
planking?
of 2010 or whatever.
Planking.
Yeah.
Planking or Johnny Depp?
I don't know what you're
Both.
referencing.
Planking on Johnny Depp.
Both big in 2010 and then forgotten about.
All right. You ready to wrap this thing? We're way off the rails now.
Did we have another topic?
No, that was it.
No, that was it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We're at
We
one hour.
covered
We're
our-
at an hour 15, hour 20.
We covered our topics for the day.
We
I
hit
just
'em
want to
up.
give a big shout out.
Juicy shout
Big
out.
juicy shout out to my lovely
Stat
girlfriend
out.
Hailey for joining us. Babe, thank you so much. Thank you for putting up with our nerdy bullshit and joining us in this conversation. Ara, I see you over there. Joe's fiance made it in to the session with us. Thanks for putting up with our nerdy bullshit. With
She's
that
in
being
the
said,
shadows.
I'm
You want to say
Christian.
something? No. She's just around.
With that being said, I am Christian, and I am joined here by my beefy buds Vito
Yo,
and Joe,
What up?
we out.
and we are signing off.
Well,
Black Panther sucks.
Hold on. We gotta
Black Panther is the best.
we gotta do our plugs, boy. You skipped the plugs. All right.
Oh, the merch.
Big shout
Yes.
out to Black Panther.
You can follow us.
movie.
Let me get through this.
Black Panther sucks.
Here
You
we go.
can follow
Joe, go
us
ahead and
on our
spin us off.
website at beefyboys.com. Our merch store is at cafepress.com/beefyboysmerch1. We are on Twitter at beefy_boys. On Instagram at beefyboysbudclub. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/beefyboys. And we are now on Spotify and iTunes. So look for
Spoofy.
those links
Spotify,
around
baby.
on the
Stream
Facebook
it
page.
and dink it.
All right. See you guys next
Black
week.
Panther sucks.
Rolling. Yeah.
Gary got a job
Yes.
in the deli,
We are rolling.
making sandwiches every day and night. Gary,
All right.
but the proud Gary keeps on
Chicken
rolling.
noodle soup, chicken noodle soup, chicken noodle,
Rolling.
chicken noodle soup, chicken noodle soup. Oh, wow.